Councillor Minnan-Wong? Councillor Pascal? Okay. Councillor Minnan-Wong, you have the floor. Yes, and I'll start your time when you're ready to speak. Yeah, just put your stuff on it. Don't touch it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't touch anything. Just put your mouth on there. Yeah.
There you go. Maybe I'll put it this way. I have some motions. Or maybe clerk might put them up on the screen. That the General Manager, Transportation Services, requested to be report back to the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee this year on the following proposals for the installation of a bike network in the downtown core, which would include separated bicycle lanes on St. George Street and Beverly Street from Prince Arthur Avenue north of Bloor on the east side of the street to Queen Street west and continue southbound onto Simcoe, separated all the way to Queens Quay. Separated bicycle lanes on the west side of Sherbourne Street from Elm in Rosedale, just north of the Sherbourne Street Bridge all the way down to Queens Quay. A separated two-way bicycle lane on the north side of Richmond Street from Parliament to Bathurst, connecting Sherbourne and Simcoe bicycle lanes. Creating a continuous two-way separated bicycle lane on the north side of Wesley, Hoskins, and Harvard, right through Queen's Park Circle, all the way from Bathurst Street to Parliament. It would intersect the Sherbourne Street and St. George bicycle lanes. Separate bicycle lanes on Bay Street from Front Street to Queens Quay, connecting Union Station and the Queens Quay Bicycle Pedestrian Promenade and the Toronto Island Ferry. Committing the funds to create the separated Queens Quay Bicycle Pedestrian Path from Bay Street to Parliament Street and Spadina to Bathurst. The city has only set aside the funds for the Spadina to York. Creating the above separated bicycle lanes continuous, no gaps, protected from traffic by bollards with signal-only traffic signals like in Holland, where required. Committing to snow removal from this core network of bicycle lanes and the adjacent sidewalks. A timetable, and this is separate from this, a timetable for completion of the East Don Regional Trail for inclusion in the capital budget, and other options for expanding the bike network while improving bike safety through separation of bike lanes on roadways by allowing bikes on sidewalks, and looking at other jurisdictions such as Seattle where this is done and considering a pilot project. I'm not, Mr. Chairman, I'm not coming to this committee without, I don't think university is a good idea, but I do have a separate proposal, and the proposal is here. If you look at it, it's creating a grid system where you're actually connecting up systems. And what I've heard from the people that I've talked to in the bike community is we have to take our existing network and enhance it. I don't ride to work every day. I drive. I come from the suburbs. It's a necessity for me, as it is for tens of thousands of other people all across the city. If I were to ride my bicycle downtown, and I'm kind of new to the activity. What I have learned from being here and from my own experience as a cyclist is I don't want to be anywhere near the cars, and separation is really important. And what I'm proposing is actually using a lot of the existing bike paths there and advocating that they be enhanced and separated. I'll also tell you that the guy actually last year, and some of you know that I just learned to ride a bike last year. The guy who taught me to ride a bike was in a very messy accident, and he's gone through 3 surgeries so far. And you're exposed to people like that, and you understand why separated bike paths are important. I'll also tell you that you do need, one of the things that with the bike plan that's presented before you is you need something down south that goes east-west, and that's why you need a street like Richmond to connect up, because if you do use University and you come down to the end of University Avenue, Richmond, you've got no place to go. The other thing that I'm proposing is looking at using sidewalks, and this is I don't know if you can read this or not. There you go. In Seattle, this is the bylaw that they have in Seattle. Every person operating a bicycle upon any sidewalk or public path shall operate the same in a careful and prudent manner at a rate of speed no greater than is reasonable and proper under the conditions existing at the point of operation, taking into account the amount and character of pedestrian traffic, grade and width of sidewalk on the public path, and condition of the surface, and shall obey all traffic control devices. Every person operating a bicycle upon a sidewalk or public path shall yield the right of way to any pedestrian thereon, and shall give an audible signal before overtaking and passing any pedestrian. While this may not be practical in the downtown core, which I recognize, our city is very different in terms of pedestrians and bicyclists and motorists. And I can tell you that in a suburban riding such as mine, people walk within subdivisions. But if you look at streets like Lawrence Avenue or parts of York Mills Avenue, you'll seldom see a pedestrian. The sidewalks are empty, and if you want to look at a practical way of actually increasing the bike network and separating those bicyclists from the cars, the most natural way to do it is to put the bicycle on the sidewalk where there's hardly any traffic, and in addition to that, also have a regime, a bylaw regime, that requires them to show a level of consideration and safety for the pedestrians. Anyway, those are my motions. Councillor Lee has agreed to take carriage of them. I'm asking for a report back, and I think this is a reasonable way to go. I don't like. There has to be some practical way. University is such an important street for motorists getting in and out of the city. There have to be clear roadways, north, south, and east, west for that matter, where motorists can move, and where we can create bike lanes that aren't going to actually make gridlock even worse.
Okay, great, thank you. I think Councillor Lee, did you have a question? I'm just going to wait. You're going to move it for him. Councillor Vaughan, I'm just curious, have you consulted with... I'm just going to, we have to move that Councillor Vaughan be permitted to ask questions of the mover of the motion. We've said a couple of them today. There we go.